Someone once said, learn from the mistakes of other people because you'll never live long enough to make them all. So in this episode, we're going to talk about my 5 rookie mistakes that I made during my first half marathon. Stay tuned. The first mistake that I made when it came to my half marathon is that I forgot that it was me versus me. Now, I'm someone who runs a lot and I train a lot, but when I got out there, I'm not going to lie, I was extremely intimidated. Before the race started, I saw guys, they were going for 5-mile warm-ups, 6-mile warm-ups before we even started the half marathon. And it made me feel extremely uncomfortable. And the reason why I'm exposing this to you guys is that don't forget that it's you versus you. Forget everybody else, run your race. I don't care if it takes you 5 hours to finish the race. You finish what you start, all right? And don't forget that it's you versus you. Every day, get better. Make today better than yesterday. So that's my first mistake that I made, is that I fell a victim to comparing myself to other people. There's an old adage that says, comparison is the thief of all joy. And I don't want anybody to forget that. So again, it is you versus you. So if you're running a 5K, if you're running a 10K, if you're running a half marathon, a marathon, if you're training to learn how to run your first mile, I don't care if it takes you 15 minutes, 17 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, it's you versus you. So the second mistake that I made when it came to my half marathon was I forgot about the importance of fueling. Now, I know a lot of people may say, well, that's common sense, but just hear me out. A lot of times when I trained fasted. I ran 7 miles or 10 miles fasted, no water or even a small drink of water. So at that time, I felt that, hey, if I could run 10 miles fasted, I could run 13, not a problem. But boy, was I wrong. The night before, I didn't eat anything. I probably ate like a salad or something like that. And then the day of, I didn't eat anything as well. I didn't eat a breakfast. Now, I'm not saying have a huge breakfast, but I found out the importance of having something in your system, maybe a sandwich or something, all right, a pasta or some type of protein, chicken or something like that, because your body needs the fuel, especially when you're starting to hit those certain miles. So when I got around, if you watch the video, when I got to about mile 10 or so, I hit a wall. And at mile 11, I got a cramp like I never had before, all right? I even considered at one point, man, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to finish this race. Believe it or not, I was 2 miles out from finishing, and I thought that I'm not gonna be able to finish this race. So again, you need to have the importance, or know the importance of fueling and putting things in your system and how to use it properly, all right? Also, the third mistake that I made when it came to my half marathon is this is extremely important. And it's the power of visualizing, the power of visualization. What I mean by that, I want you to think about something. Years ago, they said it was impossible for someone to break the 4-minute mile. I forgot how many years ago was this, but they said it was impossible. And there was one man who actually broke the 4-minute mile. The reason why I bring that up is because right after he broke it, immediately, probably within the next week or a few days later, on record, there were plenty of people who started to break the 4-minute mile. So that goes to show you that people are always capable of doing it. So the power of visualizing, seeing yourself finishing the race, and understand the importance of finishing something before you start it. So before you set out to have a goal, if you're setting to run a mile, to run a 5K, imagine yourself finishing the race. You might want to go out and drive the course or what have you. Walk it. Run it and walk, but then visualize yourself actually finishing the race. The reason why I say that's my mistake is because unfortunately, at the beginning or towards the middle of the race, or that fuel around mile 7 or 8, even though I look good in the video, I actually came to terms with, man, I might not be able to finish this race as strong as I want to, or might not be able to finish at all, especially when I got that cramp. So again, having said that, imagine yourself finishing what you start, the power of visualization. Mistake number 4 that I made was simple as put, my shoes. And I know that may sound like an excuse, and I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm not someone who believes in excuses. In fact, I say excuses only sound good to those who make it, not to those who hear it. But going back to the issue of shoes, a lot of people are unaware that your shoes have an expectancy life. They say that your running shoes, are only between 300 to 400 miles on them before they start to kind of give out. I probably have well over that in the shoes that I wore. Now, around mile 7 or 8, that was a real reminder of, hey, brother, you probably need some new shoes. Now, for those who get shoes for race day, I would not suggest to buy some shoes and then wear it on race day without actually breaking them in. You need about 10 to 12, probably 20 miles in those shoes before you probably wear them on race day. That's just my suggestion. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. All right. Also, mistake number 5 that I made when it came to my half marathon is as simply as put, you're not going to rise to the occasion. You're going to fall back on your training. Now, I told you that, guys. I told you that before, but it's important. If you're actually running outside or if you're running on hills during your race day, go practice some hills. Don't always stay on a treadmill. Now, I'm a big proponent for treadmill. I love the treadmill, but also you have to actually get out there and run. Hit that road. Let your feet feel what it feels like to hit the tarmac, as they say, for 10 miles, for 12 miles, 16 miles. No matter how slow you go. And then you can probably incorporate the treadmill a little bit later on or walking. Now also, guys, do not be ashamed to walk sometimes. If you're going to hurt yourself, then guys, do not be ashamed to walk. Finish the race, enjoy it, have fun. Notice that you accomplished something that you probably thought you couldn't do months or a year ago. Again, I just wanted to share my 5 rookie mistakes that I made through my half marathon. If it benefits you, I'm happy it does. Thank you. This is Miles with Deputy Faulk.